Hi everyone. I have a big message and not a lot of time, but I wanted to make a video. This will probably be the longest video I've ever made of my entire journey, um, kind of in a nutshell, because I see a lot of comments coming in of people like, well, doesn't this affect you? Doesn't this affect you? Why do you get to do this, etc. Um, and I know it's really difficult to go through and watch all my videos because it's videos of 2 years from the first video I made was the first day of treatment and being diagnosed to now. So I wanted to kind of sum everything up in one video so that it makes more sense. So 3 years ago, I started getting chronic bladder infections and UTIs, and doctors couldn't tell me what was wrong. And it was very scary for me. I was 20 years old, yeah, almost 21 years old, and I moved to Los Angeles and I was diagnosed at UCLA Medical Center for interstitial cystitis. And, they started out with the bladder installations and the treatments, and my body wasn't responding to those, obviously. And they wanted to put me on Elmeron as a second choice. And that was after I had an installation done by a nurse in training, and in the waiting room, it all came out in front of everyone. It just ran down my legs, and it was humiliating. So they wanted to put me on Elmeron, and I did research before I said yes, and found out that women were losing their hair, and they weren't able to walk or hold their newborn babies, or play with their kids, or get out of bed, or any of those things. And I thought, just absolutely not, no. So I went back to the doctor, and I said thank you, but no thank you, and decided to quit all treatments whatsoever. And I'm so glad that I did, because standing here in front of you today, I see women who did go left and I went right, and they have metal rods in their stomachs and their backs, and they shock their navels when they move, and they can't get out of bed, or they're bedridden in hospitals. And I am very, very fortunate and very blessed. I'm here in Los Angeles living my dreams and helping people, and I'm so fortunate to have found Sunny Morrow, who, whether she knows it or not, was a big mentor for me. And we spoke a couple times in the IC group on Facebook before I had deleted my Facebook account, so I'm no longer part of that group. But she was a huge mentor for me, and I took a lot from her, and I made it personal for myself, because every body is different, and that's something to keep in mind. So what works for me may or may not work for you. And the thing with IC and healing is that it's going to be trial and error. It's a process. But I think that, we're very blessed to experience this process. It gets you so much more in touch with your person. So if I can eat chocolate and you can eat chocolate, that might just be for now. I had to cut chocolate out for 3 months. So when I started off as a raw vegan for 3 months, and that was so hard. Oh my gosh, I thought I was going to die. But I actually started gaining weight, and I always had issues gaining weight my whole life, eating fast foods and McDonald's and Taco Bell and chicken fingers and pizza and Coca-Cola and all those things. I was so skinny. I'm still skinny, but eating raw foods seemed to put a little weight on me, and it was healthy weight. And people started, asking me why I looked so good. I was like, I feel like shit. How do I look good? I was also very fortunate to be working at a restaurant at the time called True Food Kitchen. It is a restaurant that is based off of Dr. Andrew Weil's anti-inflammatory diet. So I was around that constantly. I was around the green juices and the fruit juices and all the things. I had access. And I worked in the restaurant industry. I'm poor. So, no money, but I was around it. And I was finding other ways, I was buying little snacks at Whole Foods and, shopping at Trader Joe's, but definitely on a budget, and mostly just buying produce. Farmers markets are a great place to start. You're supporting your local farmers, and you're getting the freshest produce possible, and you can build up relationships with them. So that was just so important to my healing, was all the greens I was eating. I don't even think I was eating very much fruit at that time. I think watermelon, apple, a little bit of lemon because it didn't affect me. It may affect you. I think I was doing cantaloupe because it gave me vitamin C. But for the most part, it was kale, spinach, cucumbers, celery. I was doing a lot of celery with like peanut butter, almond butter for protein, and a lot of raw nuts and trail mix with no like dried fruits in them or anything, just to be safe, and no chocolate. Cut caffeine out completely. Luckily for me, I wasn't huge on caffeine already, so that was easy. It may not be as easy for you, but I'm telling you, caffeine is it is just huge for us. Don't drink caffeine. Like, I don't care how difficult it may seem for you, it's not worth it. And then when I started introducing proteins back into my diet, which was after 3 months, I started strictly turkey and fish. After about 6 months, I introduced chicken back in, but all of these were, free range, organic, I started working off a lot of energies too, so nothing that I felt like could have been harmed energetically. I just didn't need any negativity in my body or in my mind. I had to stay very, very positive. I've got this, I can do this. No white sugars, no refined sugars. I recently just wrote an article on indigochildren.com about the dangers of table sugars, so maybe that might be beneficial for people to read. And then I found Demonose powder, and I've talked about that before. I don't have the case in my room, but it's an orange and blue case. I can bring up a picture on my phone. But basically what that is it's another form of, it's similar to a sugar. It kind of tastes like sugar, but it's not. It's a powder form, or you can get it in a pill form. I use the powder form. I would suggest just kind of doing what I did. It's a little pricey. You can get it at Whole Foods. I think it was $50. But it was a huge game changer for me. Here we go. This is what it looks like. So that was a huge game changer for me. It changed everything. I did Demonose powder in alkaline water for 3 days straight with a strict alkaline diet. And after that, everything was changed. I had no pain whatsoever. Like, my pain had eased up, but I had no pain, and it was a miracle. And I was able to put chocolate back in my diet and start drinking iced tea once in a while and green tea. And I've had some cooked tomatoes, but don't do it. I've had some and it's fine, but just don't do it. No oranges, no limes. Like, we know none of that. And lots of alkaline water, alkaline foods. I mean, that's been a huge part of my healing too. Is a strict alkaline diet. So if you don't know much about alkaline diet, I have a video where I give you a list of alkaline foods, but that might be kind of far back and hard to find. It's really easy to find lists of alkaline foods on Google search, so just try that out. Yeah, and then time went by, and now it's been 2 years since all that started, and I live a really healthy, normal life. I also went to physical therapy for a year. 1 year of physical therapy, and it was 6 months every week, once a week, and then 6 months every other week. And that was also a game changer because, a lot of us have pelvic floor problems after developing IC. So, she loosened up the muscles that were hardening up around the bladder and putting pressure on the bladder. She alleviated that stress on the bladder, and now, I'm a lot more free. I don't know. Also, intimately, I'm more free as well. I know a lot of people with IC have a lot of issues in their sex life and in their relationships. So physical therapy was a huge game changer. And I talk about that in some other videos too. So yeah, I mean, that is the gist in a nutshell of my healing journey. I tried to make it as quick as possible. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I did like marshmallow root powder and teas in my juices. I was doing juicing every day, a couple times a day. After a while, I was able to make smoothies, green smoothies as well. I don't do milk or anything like that. I do almond milk or coconut milk. I did Herbalife for a little bit that I mentioned, and it was really making my body really strong again, but then after a while I started getting pain surges through my body, and it was really bad. So unfortunately, Herbalife is not for us, but I tried, and trial and error. So just another thing I tried. I'm going to continue to try things, and it's not all going to work, and some of it's going to work, and I'm just going to keep sharing because that's what I'm here for. I'm so blessed and privileged to have found this healing within me to help other people. It's opened up so many doors. It's opened up so many doors for me to help people, and I just feel so blessed and so grateful. And I see all the views coming on my videos, and gosh, 10,000 views on my first video. I couldn't ask for anything more than to just help people now. So I was also interviewed on a radio show about it, which was really cool, all about icy. I have that link on my last video. So with that, that is my overview. Lots of coconut water. I forgot to mention that, but in all my videos, I'm like, raw coconut water, raw, raw. So yeah, definitely leave comments below and tell me your healing methods or how your healing is coming along or how anything is going. And I'm still taking emails as well, so have a good week.